So let's get your attention. Let's get it started. I didn't want to have it too long, then kind of lurch into anyone's classes or anything. So welcome all to the WVSOM 2018 SGA elections. And just to kind of give you the ground rules, this is going to be the speech. It's going to be timed at 3 minutes. So each candidate or nominee will have 3 minutes exactly. And what I've done is I have a 2-minute marker, a 1-minute marker, and a stop. So it's just to help you get on track and kind of get your focus together, and so that the other nominees also have their chances to tell their why they're running and who they are. So when you go up, just explain who you are, where you're from, so that the second years, the third and fourth years who aren't on campus will actually know who you are as well. So it's not just first and second years, all 4 years are voting this SGA election. So let's get it started. We're gonna invite the SGA presidential nominees to come up first, and let me welcome you, Ben Kastenbauer, to be the first.
Hello, everybody. There we go. I just want to start out by saying thank you all for coming out. For those on the camera, this crowd goes forever back there. You're jealous for not coming in. But I understand. I really do thank all of you that are listening in on this. This is an important process, not just for us, the candidates, but for all of you, the students. This is an important position. All of these positions are important for this organization. A little bit about myself. If you didn't get the chance to read my little bio, my name is Ben Kastenbauer. I am a Minnesota native, a bit of a non-traditional student, took a few years off of my undergrad, have a large background in education and paramedic medicine. Did part of a master's program in Chicago at CCOM with background in neuroscience, and then didn't end up finishing it because I got here at WVSOM, and this is where we all want to be, right? This is our dream, to be doctors. A little bit about my interest in this position. The SGA, the overlying theme, I feel, is education, and as I said, a major part of my background is education. Whether it's the Grand Affair, national meetings and conferences, whether it's meeting with the President's Office and new upcoming presidents, talking with class officers and representing you, the students. This is all about your education. I have a lot of previous experience with professional staff, academic staff, and medical staff outside of the academic world. And I feel I can truly connect and represent all of you, the students, because this is what we're here for. I just really want to say that I am here to listen to all your thoughts and concerns and really make sure that you get the education you want and deserve. I thank you for this nomination, and I really hope that I can represent you in the future. Thank you.
So we're gonna go with the second presidential nominee, which is Carson Clabeau. Please welcome.
All right, hey everyone, thanks for coming. As Locke indicated, my name's Carson. I'm running for the SGA presidency. So right before I came here, I was a platoon leader in the Army Reserves. Immediately before that, I was the cadet battalion commander at the University of Scranton. So for anyone who watches The Office out there, we can bond about that. So as the cadet battalion commander, I oversaw about 200 cadets in the college age group. So that was a lot of fun. It was a headache around the weekends especially, but I'm glad I did it, and it really, I think, sets me up to become the SGA president, along with a few other things. My bio's online. I did receive some questions, so I figured I'd use that time to address those. So first, I got a question about my idea for the online conversational forum. This would be an open location with the privacy of WVSOM students. It would be used almost to supplement our Facebook groups, but it would serve as a point for continuity. So for classes that can communicate fourth years to first years, second to first, all between, and it would be available for years to come. So it would be a continual conversational piece online. And that could vary everything from how to study for boards to, where's the best place to get your car fixed when you run over a box of nails on Dwyer Street. So again, that would have search options, keywords, and it'd be a continual thing that would go throughout the years. I was asked how we're going to keep in contact with the class of 2019 and the class of 2020 as they're going to be off the Lewisburg campus next year. Well, class of 2019 already is. Here, the SGA has sit-down meetings, which is a great thing. It's a great way to get FaceTime. I indicated that there should be a direct funnel from the student body up to the SGA leadership. Although we'll always accept emails, I think it'd be great to have an anonymous link that you can always comment and send questions and stuff along that lines. This would allow for documentations for problems, and then we could then go through and send out polls and surveys to verify if these problems are habitual, and then we could go through a quantitative information to go up to administration and really address the problems where they should be. Lastly, I think transparency is key. Email updates should be sent out all throughout the way, indicating what we have done and what it is we will be doing, and that will allow for student input along every step of the way. So those are just a few of the comments I had. Again, I appreciate everyone coming out and reaching out to me with any questions. I'm the only Carson in the email system, so if you have any more questions, please feel free to email them with me. Thanks.
So we've heard from the two presidential candidates. We have one going for vice president, so I'd like to welcome Stephen Wysowski.
So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Stephen Wysowski, and I'm running for SGA Vice President. A little bit about myself. I grew up in Linden, Michigan. I went to Michigan State University for college and received a master's in public health from the University of Alabama at Birmingham. While I was receiving my master's degree, I served as epidemiology senator and vice president of the Public Health Student Association. In that role, I was able to lead the creation of a field experience trip to the CDC in Atlanta, where current public health students could tour the CDC and put that down as professional development. After I received my master's, I was a fellow in the Division of Viral Hepatitis at the CDC, where I led a 65-member working group comprised of local, state, and federal public health experts to develop mechanisms to indicate pregnancy status in hepatitis B positive females. I then transitioned into the Division of Global HIV, where I oversaw several sub-Saharan African countries and their HIV surveillance programs. So as the SGA Vice President, they serve the Student Senate Liaison to the Student Club and chairs the SGA Student Organization Committees. So I feel like my experience will allow me to bring a confident and collaborative spirit. And I will work with WVSOM's various clubs to bring new, unique, and exciting medical experiences to the students, as well as increase cross-collaborative activities among the different clubs. As the Vice President of SGA, it's my goal to listen attentively to what the clubs and organizations, as well as the student body, to what they have to say, and effectively communicate that to the SGA President, as well as WVSOM's administration. I believe it's these clubs and organizations that broaden our medical education experience and facilitate interactive learning, which will allow us to become better osteopathic physicians. So I want to thank you for your time and look forward to serving as your SGA Vice President.
Next up, we have our nominees who are running for SGA Secretary. So at this time, I'd like to invite up Melissa Urquhart.
Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Urquhart, if you don't already know me. I'm originally from upstate New York, Albany, New York, and I went to school at the University of Tulsa in Oklahoma, where I was co-captain of the women's rowing team there. And I was also president of SAC, which is Student Athlete Advisory Committee, which is similar to SGA, but we interact with the faculty at athletic board and represent the whole student athletes. And so I'm running for secretary because my goal through all those leadership positions that I had was that I learned that communication is key to the success of the organization. And as SGA secretary, I wanted to make a transparent communication between the student body and the administration. And I think that that's like my major goal as secretary, and that's the most important thing for the secretary to do. So I want to thank you for your consideration and listening to me, and I would welcome any questions if there are, so thank you.
Next up, we have our nominees running for treasurer. So I'd like to, at this time, invite up the first nominee for SGA Treasurer, Jubal Puthashero.
All right, hey everyone. For those who don't know me, again, my name is Jubal, and I'm running for treasurer. A little bit about me. I went to undergrad at the University of South Florida and got my degree in biomedical sciences back in 2016. I took a year off and worked at the Mayo Clinic doing clinical research for a little bit, and here I am. So since coming here, I've served as the active class of 2021 treasurer. I've also done volunteering and at the local middle school and with the youth in the community. I've also served as treasurer and vice president of organizations in undergrad, as well as in student government in undergrad. And I feel that all my experiences, both here and in undergrad, has adequately prepared me to serve as SGA treasurer. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with the class of 2021, and I feel that the networking that I've gotten with the current SGA and with administration and faculty has really just prepared me and taught me about the responsibilities that come with SGA and the policies and procedures of WVSOM. So I hope that you guys consider me to be your SGA treasurer. I've enjoyed working with the class, and I hope to continue working with the school. Thank you.
So I'd like to invite the second nominee for SGA treasurer, and please help me invite Emily Watson.
Thanks, Locke. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out. My name is Emily Watson. I am running for SGA Treasurer today. I am from Fort Wayne, Indiana originally. I went to Purdue University, where I got my degree in 2016 in nutrition science. And while at Purdue University, I was highly active in the band department, where I was treasurer of the band service sorority, which may not seem like much, but we actually had a small business and we moved tens of thousands of dollars every year. So it was a lot of work, a lot of time, and it involved keeping track of receipts, keeping track of our budget, and keeping track of how people are spending. So I came into that organization, we were in financial distress, and we were short thousands of dollars. So when I came in there, I had to build back up the organization, and I can say after 2 years of being in that position, I left with thousands of dollars as a cushion for our organization. So I was really able to build some stability in that organization. And it was successful enough that others asked me for advice for how to build their own treasury and their own budgets. So I feel like I have a lot of experience as a treasurer. Being important things for my success were organizational skills. I organized a budget that was easy for me to manage. So when things were time consuming, I could use that budget. And also people understood it, so other people can look at it and know exactly what it was trying to say. Also, I'm really good at communication. That was key for my success. I communicated both with the band department and with other people on the executive board and with the band students to find out what they want. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do for SGA. So I'm gonna communicate with the student body, find out what you guys want from SGA, and then communicate that to our administration. So I have, through my organization experience, I have experience with event planning. I have planned dances. I have planned formals. I can feel like I can contribute a lot to our formal in the fall because I have experience doing that. I know what works, what does not work, and also I would like to continue doing interclass relationship building. So I know SGA this past year ran a barbecue before school started, and I would like to do something like that again because to help adjust the new class to the school. And I think it's important that we build those relationships early on so we can ask for advice later. So thank you for my nomination. I hope you consider me when voting, and good luck to everyone else speaking.
So continuing along, I would like to then move on to nominees for SGA Historian. And at this time, I'd like to invite up Joseph Shafardin.
Hi guys, I'm Joe. I was born in Pennsylvania and grew up most of my life on the eastern shore of Virginia, a little place called Chincoteague Island. Basically what I wanted to become involved in on WVSOM, I looked around for things I could help make a direct impact on, and I noticed that the role of historian kind of had a little to do with how WVSOM looked to the outside world, other med students, residencies, both as a successful establishment and as something with aesthetics. So I looked into our social media a little bit, and I figured that while it's okay, there's a little left to be desired with our social media. So I wanted to run on the platform of improving our social media and again making it more pleasing aesthetically for again residencies, other medical students, prospective students, so that our degrees hold up their value because their names are attached to this establishment forever, not just when we graduate. So if we work hard now, showing everyone how great WVSOM is now, hopefully that'll continue as time goes on. Thank you.
Moving right along, next we would like to then proceed with the SGA Touch Coordinator nominees. And so at this time we have two. I'd like to invite first to be up here is Christy Farmer.
Hi everyone, my name is Christy Farmer. For a little bit about myself, I'm from Saranac Lake, New York, and for the 99% of you who don't know where that is, it's a small little town in the Adirondack Park. I went to undergrad at Binghamton University. I was a biopsychology major, and then after graduating, I worked for the New York State Department of Health for 3 years so I could afford to apply to medical school. So while I was in undergrad, I volunteered for two major organizations. I did nursing home volunteer, and then I also was the student mentor at the elementary school. Two things that I've been able to continue on and do here. And as a public health inspector with the state health department, I was able to work as with the public. So I'm used to coordinating and events and educating people and that sort of thing. And then as a secretary with the health department, I also got some really good experience working with the public and answering phone calls and sending emails. So at WVSOM, I've been involved in quite a few different organizations as well as volunteering. I've done the student mentoring at the Greenbrier schools, and as well as volunteering at the assisted living. So I just want to have this opportunity to encourage people to volunteer. It's a really great experience, not only for the community. Being from a small town, it's really important to kind of connect with the people in your community. You get to learn a lot about yourself, where you're living, and as future physicians, it gives us a good idea of the people that we'll be helping and our future patients. So I want to encourage everyone to volunteer, and I would love to find some great new opportunities for activities and things that we can do. I think a lot of people think volunteering is like a job, that it takes a lot of effort. I don't know if all of you know, but you can volunteer at the Humane Society and play with dogs all day, and that counts. And so I want to just encourage people to start volunteering or continue or find whatever they're interested in doing. So thank you for your support.
At this time, I'd like to invite up our second Touch Coordinator nominee, Jasmine Kaur.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming out here and listening to all of us, even if it was just for the free food. My name is Jasmine, for those of you that don't know me. I am from PA. I did my undergrad at Penn State. And so when I moved to West Virginia, I was having a hard time adjusting to med school. And I'm not sure if she remembers this, but I reached out to Raina, and she was incredibly supportive and encouraging. And it made me think a lot about when I moved from my country to the States. It was a huge adjustment period for me until I felt like I could relate to others and feel that I was where I needed to be. So when I was 13, I remember calling my local ER and asking them if I could volunteer, and they told me that I couldn't because I was too young to do that. So in middle school, I wasn't having such a hot time, and I thought that if I could just pop out of my bubble and just be involved, that I wouldn't feel so left out. So when I was 15, I was allowed to volunteer, and that was a huge turning point for me, because I realized that I could talk to patients and listen to their story. And I realized that everyone had a story, including me. And I felt that it was such a privilege to be able to talk to patients and hear their story during such a rough time. And I knew that I wanted to be there. So when I was 18, I started working there as a clinical assistant. And it was then that I realized that it takes teamwork, responsibility, and good communication to make things happen. It takes teamwork to do compressions, get IVs in, get meds in. It doesn't just happen with just an individual. And so when I thought about this position, I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was getting myself into. So I reached out to our current touch coordinator and last year's, Lisa, and they've been incredibly supportive. And I love that about this town. And honestly, it wasn't until the WVSOM Day of Service that I realized how small this town was. And it was then that I was like, okay, we gotta do something about this. But that's okay, because the school is a big institution. And honestly, it comes with a huge responsibility to give back. So with this position, I wanted to be the voice for our school to encourage all of you to continue giving back to the school and making it what it is. And it's a huge passion for me because it made me realize what it is that I like doing in my life. And I did it and something that's made me a better person in life. And I currently volunteer at the Greenbrier East High School, and honestly, it's my favorite part of the week because that means I'm not studying, and also because I get to encourage somebody and tell them that they can do it. And as a 15-year-old, I had great mentors that told me that I could do it and paved the path for me to be here. And I want to continue doing that for all of you. And as your touch coordinator, I want to find more opportunities for you to participate in clinical activities because I know that's something that you guys want to do. And get as many touch hours as you can because that's important for this community and its success. And so thank you for listening to me, and I hope that I get to work for all of you and work with my classmates as a team. Thank you.
So guys, next, I would like to move on to the rep for the Board of Governors for WVSOM. So my name is La Tran. I am your SGA VP. So thank you all. I'm sure many of you know who I am and what I do on campus and with whom I work with. So through my whole year working as the SGA for the SGA VP, I learned a lot. I had a great time meeting new people, working with other people, working with the school, the administration, faculty, staff. And so I would love to see changes that I have been, brought up to my attention. Changes, things that went well, things that didn't go so well, and I would like to take that to a whole different step in applying for this position to represent you all so that with what I can do now as SGA VP, I can do more with being the student rep to the Board of Governors and see that the changes would be heard, the changes would be made, or if they're not, then why? And the stuff that we could get through together as a whole school. I would just like to be the voice for us all at the Board of Governors meeting. And I think it's a very important position so that we get our thoughts and points across. So please vote for me as your WVSOM board student rep to the Board of Governors. Thank you so much. So I'd just like to make an announcement. I know in the email I said that voting would be around 2-ish, but actually the voting probably won't be ready until the end of the day. So don't be distraught if you go on to eMedley and don't see it on. Just keep checking it, but I highly encourage that you all vote for your schoolmates who you believe will best represent our school and student body. Thank you all. Thanks.